Hello, hello. Welcome back.
Hello.
How are we? This is a little odd lineup, isn't it?
Yeah, a little unusual. I mean,
guys.
usually when it's this lineup, it's me DMing and these two
and I'm
players.
back in the middle.
Yeah.
So, as Nate so graciously spoiled for everyone last time we were doing D&D Academy, he is a permanent player with us now.
Sorry.
No, that was grand. I was going to announce it soon anyway.
Yep.
But
consider this an official announcement.
this is the official. Donnie has graduated from guest character to permanent character. So
Yes.
as a part of Xerxes trying to gauge the type of person Calicindir is, that's Donnie's predominant task with Calicindir. It will be what molds and shapes their relationships with an almost studying a subject-like approach, perhaps, or perhaps more open and honest. Today we wait for Anatari to return, and as the party goes about their daily business, there's a brief moment of respite where Donnie and Calicindir decide to walk the streets of Serok and get to know each other a little bit better. So, I am here to facilitate. Other than that, Donnie and Calicindir.
It's an awkward silence for the next 2 hours as neither Calicindir or Donnie really want to talk.
Donnie is not one to shy away from a fight. But I'll start by walking past a bakery.
Okay.
Ooh.
And
There's small scattering a few between, but there is some.
Mm-hmm.
probably nothing to the quality I grew up with, but for the most part, I will stop in. Calicindia, would you mind giving me just a moment? I am famished.
Of course.
Do you want to
Take your time. Oh, why not? Let's have a look, actually. Let's see what the local delicacies of Serok are.
So you make your way in. There's this tiefling woman. You can smell not fresh bread, but stale bread. Is a lot of very flat breads and things that do not have a lot of innate need for flour and the like. The bakery is lots of here is drier than you'd like it, but they make by. Various small pastries can be found. Whatever you really wish.
Looking for anything with cinnamon in it.
If there's one thing that the Servian does have, is an abundance of spices, and there is.
Spice.
Yeah, there's some rolled cinnamon bread that's kind of woven in together. A meager 4 copper for like two portions.
I'll take 2, and as I take them, Donnie will turn to Calicinda and say, "Well, you know the deal. You're picking up the bill."
4 copper.
Slips the money. All right.
Thank you.
Should have some of that around. Let me just check. Do I actually have any copper on me? I don't. All right. It's just a singular gold piece down.
Do you not have a silver piece?
I don't have silver discs. I only have gold, platinum, and electrum. That's all I've got.
She kind of looks at the gold piece and she goes, "Thank you for the tip."
No worries.
I hand over one of the little cinnamon rolls.
Well, I hope this is worth a gold piece.
You've overpaid.
Well, I suppose I didn't really have any small change on me. Well, let's see what this is.
Change, so.
What would you call this here on the surface? I mean, it's a bit different to what I'm used to.
Well, it's not dead spider and mushrooms, but I'm sure it will suffice. It's a cinnamon roll.
Cinnamon roll. All right. Takes a bite into it.
They harvest it from bark. The cinnamon. It's dried tree bark.
You eat bark?
Yes.
From a tree?
Well, yes, we eat a lot of things from the tree.
Well, of course, but I mean, things growing from the tree, but bark is not exactly a substance that I would think of eating. It's rather dry and not...
Potatoes are a root.
Right.
What's the difference?
A lot. They're very different objects, bark and root vegetables. But I suppose I can see where you're maybe coming from. I mean,
I am teasing.
this is all the very A bit peculiar, I will admit. So what, do you just take bark off of the tree and then
No, it is
eat it straight
prepared
off,
and
or
ground, and
right?
you only put a little bit on it. We like it for the bitterness.
All right. Let's give this a try.
This is
How is it, Des? How is it?
Cinnamon roll's very nice. It's got
Mm,
a bit of a, I don't want to say crunch to it, but there's like a
Why is the cinnamon roll crunchy, Des?
there's like a chew to the
What
bread.
cinnamon rolls have you had?
it's air fryer.
there's a distinctive chew to it. It's nice, the flavor, but the texture leaves more to be desired.
Flavor's not bad. Texture's suspicious, though.
That's just the tagline of Sarek the City. Tastes not bad. Texture suspicious. It's on the flag of Sarek.
It's not bad. There's a little
It's
bakery
not.
just in Losren where these are incredible.
So I'm curious, is this sort of something where you're from, a usual specialty there, or is this a bit more of a Sarok?
All right, it's been a long day. No, this isn't a Serok specialty. They don't really have farms around here. This is from my childhood.
Oh, really?
My parents are bakers. And after a good battle, it's a bit of a tradition that I go and find something with cinnamon.
Question, I'm not sure if you've said it, Nate. Has Donnie ever said where he's from?
No.
Say
He's
it.
a spy.
Donovan, you've never actually mentioned where you're from. Or at the very least where your parents had their bakery, I suppose.
Well, I suppose if we're going to be traveling for a while, I do owe you a little insight to Mr. Bailey. That little bakery in Losrin, that was home.
Right. That
It
is...
was it's a lovely childhood. The house always smells like cinnamon.
I'm curious then how did you start from that to becoming a spy for Xerxes? That's quite the step.
Well, no child is born with a sword, but you fall into this life, I guess. I was a tempestuous child, full of energy, full of excitement, but always getting into trouble, as children do.
Of course.
Fell in with the wrong crowds, got pinched, and was given a way out.
A bit of a helping hand in that case. How it started.
Something like that. More like an opportunity to refocus that energy.
Right. Charitable offer from Xerxes.
Yes, it was.
He does seem to be fond of helping those in need, which is a good trait from him.
In that we have the same alignments. We do the same work. But no, Xerxes collects the misfits. Zamani.
The Zamani and Donovans of the world.
Oh yes, thank God there are only a couple.
Well, I must say, so far from the people he's managed to collect into his service, I haven't met a bad one so far.
Well, time will tell. You don't know the half
Time
of
will
me
tell.
yet.
True, I barely know you. We fought alongside each other quite a bit, but not spend too much time.
Okay. What would you like to know?
suppose tell me about those early years. I mean, starting out with Xerxes, how did that happen? How did that
Sorry.
progress?
The story starts a little bit further than that. Bakers do not make a lot of money. And I have a certain gift for talking. I can talk my way into almost any building in the world, but I can sell bread, but that's a waste of talent, right? I always wanted more. Always wanted a little bit of a bigger life than selling bread to peasants. And I had a begrudge a simple life, but it wasn't what I wanted when I was young. We fought a lot, my parents and I. Fought about money, fought a lot about wanting more. My parents, Lodgeman's a breadbasket. Lodgeman is full of farmers, and we would see the merchants come in and your big ornate caravans and your young foolish child dreams, right? So I left, joined one of the merchant caravans, and ended up in, what's the name of the city in Random?
Capital is Rindleton.
Rindleton, thank you. Ended up in Rindleton for a while. For someone like me, someone exotically skilled, shall we say. Zzz, zzz, a bit of electricity comes out. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Adventure is it's an easy path to money, and I've
Whatever
fed
you
in with
need,
some.
I suppose.
Yeah, well, not all adventurers are fishers of kings. Some are slayers of kings.
Well, I'm both.
Well, I don't think that was you, but I appreciate the laugh. A disenfranchised and naive young boy with power and desire finds some adventurers and just gravitates towards the divine struggle of upsetting power structures and, turning over the nobility and redistributing the wealth. These freedom fighters, they call themselves.
Right.
It's romantic, and we gravitated towards it.
I hope
But
you aren't after me now.
No. Those years are long behind me. They weren't freedom fighters. They weren't proud and noble warriors for the little man. They were just extortionists, terrorists, rebels, bandits, really. But my abilities and my ambitions, they blinded me to the quite horrible work we were doing. I've done some terrible things, Kalasindia. I've ingratiated myself with nobility for the sake of extorting and blackmailing them. Torture, destruction. So much violence. And he's just holding the cinnamon roll, just thinking. Eventually, a man like me is used as a face of an operation. I'm very big, I am handsome, but the job went poorly. And I was abandoned by my friends. And when you're caught, and you're a Hellraiser like I was, they don't throw you in a nice City Watch cell. You go in the deep pit. And that's where I was.
So, Donovan, what you would specifically know about imprisonment in Rindleton? They have strong gold mines. You're a prisoner like you, where you would have been sent to Gallow Cross and then transported to the Zuvrik mines to hard labor out your crimes. Look, someone's got to mine the gold for the country.
Fuck.
Before I was sent to the gold mines, I was almost forgotten about. Time disappears in the darkness. But you know, when you get a visitor, it's very exciting.
Is that where he visited you?
Not yet. I'm in a cell with a prisoner and myself. I haven't seen the sun in months, haven't felt the wind on my face. The other prisoner is dead, long since dead. Just a bundle of clothes on a corpse. Blankets on a corpse. No. My mother walks in. Just one day, my mother walks in. I can, seeing how far I've fallen, seeing how grand my life had become. That's where it changed. She said the words to me that I'll never forget. She says to me, Donnie, you've always had a storm inside you. It's raged against the world and drowned the earth and burned inside me. I was consumed by the gale, crashed into anything in my way. She said she always wished for me to understand it, but I was so lost. She said that while the storm can ruin, it can also sustain. The rains can nourish the fields so people can eat. The thunder gives hope to those who are parched and burned. The lightning can illuminate even the dark sky. She said, you are so capable. You have so much potential for nourishing the world, lives around you suffer and struggle. And she prayed that when I find myself, she prayed to whoever listened, that I find my field. And if I'm going to have a mantra for the rest of my life, I've decided that that would be it. To find a field and nourish it. She left, and a few more days passed. And the bundle of blankets on the other side of the cell. It rustled and sat up. Didn't look like the emaciated corpse of an old human. It was a beautiful tiefling. Big wings. And we had a very frank conversation about the words of my mother. And in that moment, we wanted the same things for the world. And with that advice, I have paid off a bit of the debt I owed the world. The Ramsar are very good at finding problems, and I'm very good at solving them.
That much I've definitely seen.
But you don't live at Kita Park. You train and then you go out into the world and you make it better. But I don't mean the Ramsar, I mean the Rahashir. Sorry.
No, you're right.
I know what I meant.
And do you feel like you've achieved that
Oh, God,
working
no.
with the Rahashir?
It's good work. Pays like crap, but at this point in my life, I don't really need money.
Hmm.
I have people like you to pay.
And at least you're not questioning your actions at every second.
No, it's a refreshing position to be in.
Hmm.
And it's easy to
Especially if
sleep
you
at
have
night.
someone to pay for it.
Yes.
Question, Des.
Yeah.
He mentioned Ketapak.
Yeah, Kate Pack
Which
Saint
yes, out of character I know what that refers to. In character, does Callison
Not
know?
a clue. Not a freaking clue.
You mentioned a Ketapak.
Yes, I did.
What is that?
It's where I was retrained, shall we say.
Right.
The Rahashi there guided me into this new part of my life.
Interesting. I mean, the Rahashir do keep themselves. I mean, you do keep yourselves relatively hidden and secretive in the world.
Well, that's by design.
Of course.
Where
of
I
course.
was a incredible schemer and blackmailer and extorter. Those skills are better put to use. Makes me sleep a whole lot better knowing that I'm raining havoc on those who really want to fuck this world up.
It's interesting, I suppose. I mean, hearing it like that from you. For people on the outside, the Rahashir are more political boogeymen that exist lurking in the dark of every major organization that is public, every court, every merchant organization, ready to collect information and do God knows what with it. But
The Rahashir speak several languages. Politics, diplomacy. Sometimes we speak violence. And,
I've seen that last one more often than the others recently,
Yeah.
but
well, I'm not brave enough for politics, but diplomacy, perhaps.
when the time
the
is
world-
right for it.
The world speaks in all these languages. It also speaks in languages of generosity and care and love. You've seen this firsthand as well yourself, yeah?
Of course.
All of these languages require two people for dialogue. And sometimes someone speaking violence is screaming into the void. Very much to respond. I'm very happy to respond to that rather than someone just being screamed at. That's how I see the
The Rahashir.
violence that I
Right,
well,
right.
yes, that's my role in the Rahashia. But anyone who tells you that the Rahashia and that they know the organization is obviously lying to you.
Not even the Rahashir know the Rahashir.
Yes, by design.
I have one of your members at my court in Ariel.
Good.
I wonder if you. I'm trying to remember the name here. Let me look back.
Sahiri.
Sahiri. I wonder if you knew her or know of her.
Roll
Does
me a
Donnie know
history
Sahiri?
check, Johnny. Strong chance you do.
History is nope.
3. You know of her.
Ooh.
You know of her reputation. You know Sahiri is a very well-respected member of the Rahashir. Red skin, tiefling, pure black eyes. She is the heartthrob, heartache of the Rahashir.
I've heard the name.
Right.
She's one hell of
A
a
good-
devil.
Well, I suppose that's one way of looking at it. A good reputation, I hope.
Well,
I'd like to think Xerxes sent one of his best.
it depends on your definition of good. But I haven't had much in the way of dealings with her. You probably know her better than I do.
Well, truth be told, I haven't had too many conversations with her. She's mostly spent her time gathering what information she
You
can.
haven't talked to her?
I've had a few conversations, but not too many in depth. I mean, I haven't actually been at Area. Very little, I suppose, over the time I've had it. You know the nature of our whole trial and everything else we're doing. It leaves, well, it has left very little time for extended periods in a singular location.
I know the type. I'm not one to put down roots either.
Hopefully that can change. I wouldn't call myself an adventurer or anything of that sort.
Well, you're very good at it.
Thank you. Thank you. From what I've seen, you're quite a natural at it, but I suppose that's to be expected with your history.
Byproduct of a misspent youth, yes. But
Curious, how do you look upon that now? Your youth, your past.
well, it's a journey, right?
Mm.
They say that you need to be the man you were to be the man you are, and part of reaching a destination is the journey to get there. You and I have traveled the
Precisely
world,
so.
and you've seen a lot of it. I'm sure that the man that left the underworld to go searching for twinkly lights is not the same man.
No, but he still exists in my head. Quite literally. It's hard to escape when he talks to you.
Cindy, are you making fun right now?
No, I'm not.
Well, that's good.
I'm not. You see, I have something of a shattered mind myself. Quite in line with the dying god. But
I'm going to ask a very awkward question here, and I hope you forgive me if it comes off abrupt.
Oh, please, you're here to spy on me, to collect what you can, and to get an accurate opinion of the individual that I am, so please.
The word spying was a little joke between Xerxes and myself.
Mm.
But yes. How crazy are you going?
Hard to measure when you are the one in that process. I'm sure for people looking at on the outside, such as Zamani, I'm sure it is far worse than I would consider myself to be at. That being said, I would personally put it at a manageable level at this stage. And don't get me wrong, I am probably not completely there at all. I mean, look over there. As he points to sort of a wall that's like of a building on the other side. Right there, I can see reality cracking into 1,000 different pieces, showing me at least 100 different pathways into the future, which I try to ignore at every given stage, but that is normal, I suppose.
But perhaps you should take up rum. That was a joke.
No, it's not a terrible suggestion at times. Although
Dulled the senses a little.
Potentially, although it depends. Alcohol can have mixed effects. It can also make it harder to control what's going on.
I feel like we're so close to making a Bundy joke, and
just a random polar bear runs through. I'm curious, though, just to go back to yourself a little bit. Did you ever, I suppose, have contact with those of your former organization, the freedom fighters, as you put it? Those that enabled your misspent youth?
I haven't gone back and chasing them. It's They're probably still out there. But it's
Would you like to?
one day when my work is done. Perhaps I'll take a holiday. And go and speak to them in a language they understand.
Revenge? Or just
No.
to set things right?
No. The time for revenge has passed for me. It is not useful to dwell on that kind of.
Right. I'm curious what language you'd speak to them.
Oh, violence. I will kill them all. But I will not kill them for my own sense of justification.
No.
I will kill them for the chaos and havoc that they are wreaking on those people who don't deserve it.
Of course. And I suppose for those like yourself that fell into a similar trap.
I am not here to be judge or jury.
No. But from what I've gathered from you, you seek to at least bring a bit of justice into the world.
Yes.
Do what's right where you can.
Yes, I'm certainly trying to green out the ledger, so to speak, but but it's a lot to wipe out. And I don't particularly mind so much if I don't go and do that. There
Yes.
are other eyes watching that part of the world. There are other structures in place to ensure that doesn't get too chaotic.
Right. Well, I can safely say at least, whilst you're with us, you probably won't have to be too concerned about venturing close to Randrum. That is a part of the
good.
world that is a little closed off to us at this stage.
What did you do?
Me, myself, nothing. Those that we
what does the
travelled
other-
with, former companions. You remember Anna? Oh wait, that was before your time. I forgot when Donnie first met us, that's right. I thought Donnie met us like so much longer ago than what it actually was. We had two former companions that you never met. Original members of the Kingslayers, as it was, under the time of a sleeping bloodline. They both made a mistake. A grave mistake, pissed off the wrong person in Randrum, and as a result of that, we are all barred from entry, or at the very least, we'll need to be careful how we operate and conduct ourselves entering the country. I doubt we'll get a warm welcome.
In that we have one mind. There are a lot of people who would like to see my head on a pike in that town, regardless of all the nonsense. But
That sounds slightly worse than myself, but head on a pike, not quite as much. Imprisonment, maybe. Just usual death and no display of it, and proper burial afterwards, more than likely.
Not have been that bad then. But I will
I
take.
hope I don't
this,
make it any worse.
I will take this life, this charge that I've been given. Keep an eye on someone trying to resurrect an old god. Make sure he doesn't destroy the world in the process.
I hope not.
That'll do. What do you think
Well-
is going to happen? When
Do you want
the
my
god
honest
comes
opinion?
back- when the god comes back and you die, what is going to happen?
When I die.
Don't play games with me. I've spent a lot of time reading two conversations here. that which is said and that which is not said. As disinterested as I was in that devil, I am no fool, Calasindia.
That's a lot to pick up in a short time span. But I suppose that is your job, after all.
I'm very good at it.
I can tell. But
Now,
I
when you're
suppose I
killed,
will.
what will happen? And have you made peace with it?
To some degree, yes. Have I made
Has the other guy-
peace?
Has the other guy made peace with it?
I think he has, more so than me.
Have you asked him?
Have you made peace with it?
For the greater good, it will be done.
He agrees with it. The thing I haven't come to peace with is more so those left behind. On this world, I suppose.
Your love for Castiel.
Love. That was a good one. That was very sexy of you. I can see why the two of you get along. But, Zamani, my family,
Yes.
all of those that I found myself connected to, Zelly and the other children. There's a lot of people whom I may not see for, well, maybe never again, maybe centuries before I see them again. It's a lot to come to terms with. Have I made peace with myself? Yes, though.
What happens to you after you die? In your... I just gesture broadly to his eyes.
But I suppose. Do you want to know the response to that if I restore the guiding light or if I fail?
Ebesinda, I'll be very frank with you. If I am with you, you will restore the guiding light.
Then I will go to the stars where I will live in his afterlife. At peace.
Ebesinda, this god is literally fragmenting your mind. Probably fragmenting your soul. Do you really think you're going to have peace after this?
Yes. There are a few
Bullshit.
things.
This
Is that Donald or
Nathan.
is that Nate?
No, it's
Okay.
Nate. Bullshit. I want to insight check it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to see if he believes that what he's telling me or whether he's just reciting doctrine.
Yeah, absolutely.
Go ahead and roll for
Make
me.
that roll.
That's the absolute truth. That's a natural one.
He's
Yeah,
confident.
Seems to tell the truth. There are a few certainties that I have in life. In anything. But faith is one certainty that I have always had. And it is true, he is shattered, and all of that, but that is exactly what I will fix. That is exactly what will be changed. Because currently, when I look up at the stars, when I look up at the night sky, I see the souls of 1,000 of my ancestors trapped up there in limbo. Nowhere to go, no afterlife to guide them. Waiting.
That's what this is.
This will change
Some
that. There will be an
lighthouse to
afterlife.
ferry the ships to shore, huh?
Precisely. I mean, with his form broken up, shattered into pieces, afterlife went with that. A certainty of it, at the very least.
And you hold all this power in your mind now.
Fractions of it.
Oh, good. Well, at least you're not crazy.
Once again, depends who you ask.
Well, I'm not a
But-
cleric, but
To be honest with you, Donovan, I think
please do.
once I die, That would be the closest thing to peace that I've had.
Good. We should all hope for a peaceful death.
We should.
And what about the life? How much life do you have left? How much unfinished business is there? And how much does that weigh on you?
Now that does weigh on me. There's a lot that I wish I could live for. Imagine Des get abused by a cat. There is much that I wish that I could live for in the world. A lot that I wish that I could still achieve. But I do work for something greater, and which time is of the essence. I mean,
Talk
I think
to me about that. Why is it urgent?
Well, I suppose there are a few factors of it. We do know, at the moment at least, that Lezefican is searching for the shards to devour himself, which is deeply concerning. If given enough time, I think it is reasonable to assume that he will locate one of those which are not in the possession of a known ally or myself, and we will take it, which then presents a whole manner of new circumstances.
Can you take
And
them from
then there's also... What's that, sorry?
Can you take them from Lezefican?
I can, but that would be incredibly dangerous, and I dare say maybe even harder than trying to face Samael as we're trying to do already.
Well, I still think I could take him.
Now, I don't doubt that you could take Samael, but taking Lezefican, we would have to go to Rebosa, the celestial plane, fight him there, take the shard. A major ascended, empowered by a shard of an old god, I would dare say that would be quite the challenge for us. Even as capable and strong as you are, Donovan.
At this I enjoy, the flattery. Please keep it up.
Oh, I can keep doing that.
But
and I suppose it's also expedience, because I do not know how long I'll be able to hold my mind intact. How long I'll be able to stay Callus India. How long I'll be sane. I don't know. I don't know if something will happen that could tip me over the edge. Something that could push me. Cause me to break even further.
did you become what? More him than yourself?
Truly losing my mind. You see, the first shard that we collected, that I claimed, was off of my uncle. He had disappeared many, many centuries ago. The very first starless to ever take a shard, to ever find one and claim it, the first prophet. He had truly gone insane. You see my eyes as they are at the moment. He had thousands of these stars clouding his eyes. And he was truly gone. Nothing remained of his former self, very little.
What of all the stars that... Forgive me, I'm not versed in your culture, but the stars are the shards. Is that the same thing?
The stars, the star shards, fuck. The shards of the stars are different to the stars of the shard.
This is unnecessarily confusing. No wonder you're going mad.
I know. I realize how insane this must sound to it. Oh God, I'm just anything S now. I'm just jumbling over it. I know how ridiculous this must sound to someone, I suppose, unversed in it, but I mean, Star Elves is a natural constellation. It reflects what is above us at the moment. These ones from the shards are not. They are not natural. They are not of the celestial sky above us. I suppose that's one way of looking at it.
I'll take your word for it. But this Lezefican, if he consumes this shard, is that all hope lost?
No, because I would march to the gates of the heavens themselves in order to take it back.
Good. You have
And I
regrets.
would...
You have resolve. You have earthly attachments. You're not too far gone.
I think we all live with regrets.
Oh, yes.
We'll live with... Well, all live with our past, I suppose. But, for the most part, I am willing to, I suppose, act quickly on this for the sake of the greater good, rather than set my whole house in order, as that would take quite an extensive period of time. I think the biggest thing that weighs on my mind about not being able to complete would be concluding this whole business with Samael. I hope that, I pray that there is some resolution to that fact. Some way I can be there for it, but the way it currently stands, I will have the shards before then.
That conversation you had with Samael when we all left.
Mm-hmm.
He offered you a deal, didn't he?
He told me of the location of the shard, the next one.
And you believe
One
him?
unknown one. I do believe him. However, believing him has led me in with more questions. Questions that I would not have come to beforehand. I mean, if he is to be believed, he's had 2 shards in his possession at differing times. And yet, rather than use their power to advance his own, which previously we thought to be his entire purpose, he has chosen to hide them in the world, to, I suppose, keep them safe, as it were.
Would they not be safer?
Why
with
is
you?
that? Well, I believe so, but it's curious that he's taken this approach, is it not? When you think of Samael, you think of someone who would use this power, take it for their own.
Unless it is more valuable as a bargaining chip. You
He hasn't used it as...
Calasindia. I am well versed in extortion.
Of course. But he has not used it to extort.
Yet. There may come a time when
Yet.
he wants you to do something that you don't want to do. That better serves his goals than yours.
Perhaps.
But
Perhaps. But I have not made any binding agreements with him.
well, good.
I suppose it's easier to say that our little discussion and meeting with him gave me a lot to consider, as I think it did for a lot of us. There's a lot of questions I've had about Samael for this whole time. A lot of unresolved questions.
But
Which
with
that
his
meeting
end
only-
game, what's he trying to achieve here?
I believe him when he says that he is trying to secure the future of the world. I believe him.
From what risk?
From the same that Xerxes has seen, and the same as we know that all of the Ascended have seen, the threat from over the seas. The great dragon that
You would be
threatens
familiar
to...
with this, Donnie. You would have been
Okay,
familiar
cool.
with this information.
the great
cool.
dragon that threatens to burn down the whole world and destroy everything that we have built here. I truly believe him when he says that he seeks to prevent that. However, I did believe him more than anything when he insisted that we were the ones to do it.
Build the dragon that will eat the world?
Or play a role in the world resisting to make it stronger. He seemed adamant on the fact that he needed us to be strong. He needed us at that point.
Or some sort of show of force? How, and this is a question that a sane person should ask, a person who is inhabiting a god, is if the gods themselves cannot stop this dragon, what hope for remarkable individuals?
I'm not sure, but I think that's what he saw.
They also saw a vision of the divine, right?
Here's my question. Here's my question for you. If that was not the case, if he did not seek to make us strong, to build us to that point, why didn't he kill us? He's appeared before, after we've moved against him, after we've killed his generals. Why would he not kill us? Why would he not kill our hostages after we already began to move against him? Why would he let us get strong? Why would he let us rally the world against him?
This chess. Sometimes you sacrifice pieces.
But why bother even reaching that extent if he could just kill us from the start? We have done nothing to benefit him otherwise, if his plan was truly as everyone thought it to be.
If it was me, and I was trying to manipulate people that I once had extensive control over, and I understood their motivations, and I understood what they wanted, I would make them lose purpose. I would make them represent themselves in other ways, as allies, as rivals. It would...
But why bother with that when he could have killed us there and there?
If he believes that you are strong enough to hold some sort of moment of power against this dragon incoming, then perhaps he's wanting you out of his own designs, refocusing your attention on some other great threat to his designs. The enemy of my enemy.
Perhaps that is so. However, my end design is to restore an old god. That does not work
kill this dragon.
Perhaps. It is the greatest chance that we have. Old gods killing old gods.
You're a much smarter man than I am, but I don't think that math works out.
How so?
An old god killing an old god seems like a stalemate to me.
They had
the
an
gods
entire
get their
war.
powers from worship.
Not the old gods. The Ascended do. They need worship to exist, to thrive, to be anything. Old gods do not.
They just are.
They fought, as we know, an entire war on the other side of the world. They killed each other. It has been done before. They can do it again.
And this dragon won that war, huh?
That much it doesn't seem. It's almost as if he came out of nowhere after the war ended. I'll admit I've only had scant little bits of information from the other side of the world, only little bits of knowledge, but it seemed that the war almost paused and the other side of the world just remained, and I don't know how or why, but this dragon, this old god dragon, has appeared, manifested, where none others have.
All right, I'm satisfied. You know, Calacindia, you're not as crazy as you think yourself to be. You're very clever.
And now it's your turn for flattery. Thank you. But I suppose at least the conversation with Samael has not convinced me in any way that I believe him to be a good person or what he's done to be justified or a hero in the eyes of anything, but it has caused me to reconsider a lot of the preconceived notions of what is going on, what is happening in the world.
Does any of that affect your goals at all?
No. My goal remains one and the same. The restoration of the guiding light. But I have found myself on this trial, on this quest to end Samael, to restore the balance on the surface. But if there's more to
give
it...
a shit about that. Truly. Do Zamani and Macasteel give a shit about killing Samael?
Macasteel does. I believe she does, at the very least. From any conversations we've had and her general manner and disposition towards the topic. It was Samael's influence that caused us to kill her father-in-law. After all.
Oh,
caused
that was
a lot
the
of
king you
strife.
slayed.
Caused a lot of strife
That's
to that
awful.
whole family who she is very close to. And I think she still, she sees Samael as opposition to her gods. So, to that extent, I think Macasteel wishes it. For Zamani, though, I don't know. I think Zamani wishes to do the best thing for the world itself. Whatever that may be. Whether that's killing Samael or whatever happens down the line.
Does she know? Does she know that you will
No.
die?
Well, actually, we had that conversation this morning, yes.
Perhaps we should get you a drink. You could probably use it. I did hear
Why
you
not?
fighting. I didn't know anything about what it was. I assumed you had perhaps underperformed in bed or something.
That's not an issue. I can assure you.
It would
I
be
promise.
almost godlike, I imagine.
Well, I don't want to boast about it that much.
Oh, I'm just teasing. Better to kiss and not tell.
Of course.
This looks like a
of
tavern.
course.
Perhaps we should sit.
Yeah, it looks a bit more furbished than the last one we went to. The sign isn't hanging off by a thread.
We seem to be in a, I don't want to say nicer part of the neighborhood, but
I'd say throughout your journey, you've managed to kind of wind your way around through the city, and Calacinder's kind of gravitated towards the more fancier area. You find yourself in the Marble Way, the Goldwater Sanctuary. It's kind of upmarket. It's equal part bar and bathhouse and hotel.
This
I
place
suppose
looks
this will
nice.
yes, it will do. I think we're paying more than a gold for whatever we have, but come, let's sit. Let's
See what rum
take
they have
those
on
nerves
offer.
away.
As you
We
make your
go
way
in
in.
order.
It's
Mhm.
the Goldwater Sanctuary is It's a lovely place. You notice inside here, there is, of the 3 organizations that run the city, a lot of members just walking of each organization kind of freely. It appears to be neutral ground where there is... Hey, Tabletop Obscure, rating with a party of 7.
Hey.
Hello, what's up with
How
you
are you?
guys? How is your Dungeons and Dragons? Perhaps are you
Maybe.
partaking in the
It was
Dungeons and Dragons? You were
Dragons.
partaking in the Dungeons and
It
Dragons.
was the Dungans.
How did the Dungans and the Durgans go? Did you enjoy? And Pixel, they DM. That's thank you for the follow. Very cool of you. How are you today?
Yeah.
How are you all? We're doing a little mini session to help
Yeah.
Donnie and Calicindir, bond a little bit more, buying some Pathfinder.
Pathfinder. Ooh, second edition. That's cool. That's cool. We've looked into that before quite a
Yeah,
bit.
I think every DM did recently because we were all worried about the Exodus, but
Yeah.
it's okay.
Hell yeah.
How are you finding it? How are you finding Pathfinder?
Tell us what you
edition?
did. Tell us what
Yeah.
how it went. Smash and Pathfinder. Did you find the
Ooh,
path?
dream
Dream
sequence
sequence session.
Was
Nice.
there a path
Nice
in the
one.
dream?
Hell yeah.
The second someone finds a path, we have to stop playing Pathfinder. Like, it's done.
Yeah,
If someone
look,
finds
look,
the path, it's
it's-
over.
It's look, finding a path is like fighting a dragon in a dungeon. Like as soon as that
There's
happens,
a spell for
you,
that.
you just end it.
Exactly. Technically, there was.
Technically, there
that's-
was.
You know, we take this.
You have to find a new
New
system to
game
play
now.
now.
New game now.
Yeah, yeah.
And
yeah.
Raph, technically, you actually have to find a dungeon in a dragon, not the other way around. So it's pretty hard to
Ah,
find.
shit. My bad.
Was- As we get back into it now, as our
Yes.
beloved cast members, Donovan and Calicindy, you find your way to the bathhouse. It's getting midday sun. It is nice to get out of the heat, although it is not as unbearable in the as the majority of the Ceruvian desert. You're on the edge of it. It's still warm, so it is nice to get in to a shaded area. It's honestly quite nice. Calicindy, that will be 10 gold. Donovan,
I
I assume Calicindy is covering yours.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
not
he'll
paying
cover
for
it.
shit.
Yeah, that's why I
Yeah, yeah.
gave the
Cal-
lump
Calicindy
sum of
will
10
move.
gold.
Calicindy will move to cover it.
I'm not even going to play that reaching for my wallet and slowly pulling out my credit card thing.
Yes. Just
I'm
like
just gonna-
fumbling around trying to find
I'm
it.
just going to sit there and wait.
So, as you make your way
Yeah,
to
Calicindy will
this
slide it over.
beautiful, beautiful kind of like shaded in by natural foliage. There's like a light breeze, whether artificial or not, you're not sure. It is nice to kick back and relax in such a city of
Sounds-
scum and villainy. It
sounds
is.
Mhm.
It is a nice area to be in.
Has anyone
Yeah.
clocked this?
A lot of people clocked you, but this is neutral ground. So,
So no one
nothing
really
is
gives a shit
happening.
about
of
that.
it.
So they've clocked us, but they're not going to do anything about it.
Yeah.
I have a feeling. Okay.
For out of character reference, the sanctuary is neutral grounds for leaders of the 3 syndicates to meet without fear of open combat.
Sup, Cesara? How you going?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, she's
yeah,
not
yeah.
here, but Anatari
Yeah,
starts
no,
sitting
she's-
down talking
she's
about how to
on
kill Zamani. Just
Anatari, you want a drink? Yeah.
Hell's paying.
So, tell me, Donovan, do you have any? I mean, in your family, have you gone back to see them at all?
Not the chance. I'm hoping that
Do you have? Sorry.
just a mother and a father, no
Hmm.
siblings. I'm hoping that
Not married at all?
No,
No kids?
no, I'm not brave enough for that kind of life. Perhaps I will stick to adventuring for a while. But I do plan to go back. Perhaps when I'm maybe a little bit more reformed, shall we say?
Right. A bit more in control of the storm.
Oh no, the storm. It happens on my birthday every year. Was born with some incredible storm around us. That's I think I was supposed to be a tiefling, but
Yeah.
the storm kind of made it a bit funny. And I don't speak Infernal at all.
Right.
There's none of that hellfire in me, but perhaps it was replaced with something else.
Hmm.
But every year there's a almighty thunderstorm on my birthday. It's funny.
So I suppose to answer the question of when's your birthday, just wait for the storm to appear outside and we'll get the answer.
You'll know.
Noted, noted. Either that or the Zephyrkins hunting us down trying to kill us, but, you know, one or the other.
Well, he'd be my home ground if he tries. But
I love the confidence of Donovan.
I do seek to go and repay the change that my mother put into my life, but it's not for now. It's not for this stage. I've still got a lot of work to do. And
right.
Yeah, I need to make sure you're not going to destroy the world and turn up like another Samael.
Of course. As is your duty.
I mean, you're very good for a drink, and you have deep pockets. It'd be a shame to kill you.
Well, I suppose if I'm good for one thing, it's deep pockets at least. Although it was quite interesting at the start of our journey. I had no coin to my name, and yet everyone kept on treating me as if I was rich, but I had nothing. Quite a strange experience.
Every time I ask Xerxes this, he always makes some stupid game. And he always teases me about this, but he is a prick. But
a prick that we love.
How many paladins calling gods a prick?
Only Xerxes.
But what are you? I've guessed a couple of times.
Star Elf?
That's not what I mean. Are you a prince? Are you a king? I said queen once and he laughed his head off.
I'm a prince.
Oh, good.
I'm a prince.
I don't feel
my
so
mother
guilty
is
about stealing all of your money.
My mother is queen. You'd be right there. But no, I am but a prince.
Well,
last to my youngest of all my siblings.
The baby of the family.
Yeah. Huh? The baby of the family. The prince that thought to prove himself.
Hell of a job, huh?
Hell of a job. But as you know, ambition usually starts out that way.
Yeah. Mostly the hell. And then the job.
Quite accurate. I'm sure Xerxes would have hated me when I first started out. Would have thought of me as completely the wrong type of person to hold the shards. Or at the very least would have put a bit more doubt and question on it.
I'll ask him about it.
Not quite.
Not now.
I doubt he knew me back then. Or really, had anyone close enough to keep an eye on me. Actually, that is a question for Xerxes.
Are you absolutely crazy?
I mean, back when I was, years ago. That's what I'm talking about.
Calicindia, you are the prince of quite a large and powerful kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
The god of secrets would know exactly who you are.
The Ascended do not have much sway at all within the world below. I would be surprised if a member of the Rahashir. That is an interesting question. I do wonder if the Rahashir have managed to integrate themselves within the Crystal Citadel itself. That would be surprising, but I doubt it. If there's
wouldn't be doing my job if I told you, but
they would be playing a very dangerous game.
Funny thought.
But I suppose I've never actually considered that. That would be humorous to find. But I mean, now there's an abundance of people he has to keep a tab on me. I mean, you, Zamani, writing letters and burning them every day to Xerxes. I mean,
he's shown me a couple of those letters that Zamani sends me.
Oh, please! Oh God! I hope they weren't too. I hope they weren't too intimate. Those ones.
They are graphic.
So I've heard. I think I'm the
graphic.
only person in my family not to have read her journal.
I'm a bold man, and I have had a broad life, and
Shocked you a little bit?
they are something else. I'm sure there's a market for it.
No, not the stumping jokes, please.
Well, it's a little funny. A little
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
But the Xerxes has a good laugh about it. He's kept them all, you know.
Really? That is slightly concerning. I mean, I hope he's not planning to use them as blackmail down the line, but won't be able to do anything about it if he does.
Oh, Calacinda, I've seen some of the things you have done with her. It is hardly volatile.
Perhaps. But who knows? The God of Secrets has many plans, I'm sure.
Oh yes, I don't try and understand what his motivations or goals are. Our purposes align, and it is a transactional relationship.
And for the most part, the two of you do seem to be, I suppose, friends. You seem to get along well. But then again, Xerxes does in general with a lot of people that I've seen.
Yes, he's a prick, but aren't we all?
That's the second time you've called him a prick.
Yeah, if I get
One more
three,
time, and I swear that he'll probably come down and make some sort of joke about it.
No, he likes it.
Noted.
I'm not a worshipper. We're work colleagues.
I think that's the strangest. One of the strangest things I've heard. But it does make sense in a strange way for a follower. Well, for a work colleague of Xerxes to have that.
He's funny. Working with him was the first time I laughed after prison. He's a unique man.
But he is. He is.
I do often think he's trying to come onto me.
He has a flirtatious way of acting, of talking, of just being there. But
it's the grab ass that really worries me.
I saw that as soon as when you entered the tavern before, but I didn't want to comment on it.
Oh, it's all right. You get used to it. I actually don't mind.
It's fair, I suppose. I'm curious, how's your work taken you far around the world for Xerxes?
You'll forgive me if I don't go into specifics.
Oh, of course.
Obviously, but...
Oh no, tell me all of the dark and dirty details of your various intrigues and moments undercover.
Yes. The short answer is yes. I have been to most corners of the world. Travel is quite expeditious sometimes. Sometimes I need to be there. There is a problem that... Look, spycraft can only solve so many problems. Sometimes someone needs to die. And I'm not so beneath doing a bit of wet work.
Especially if it's for a better cause this time.
Oh yes, it's quite nice killing the bad guys for a change. No excat, there is no Xerxes Workers Union. We're all independent contractors.
Yeah. Xerxes.
Technically,
Xerxes
you're all self-employed.
We all have an ABN.
You're all self-employed, and it's just hired.
Yeah. But that sounds Oh, the more I've heard of Xerxes, the more I trust him and what he says.
He's been a man of his word.
That he has.
Unlike Bison. Bison cheats at cards.
Noted. I doubt I'll ever reach that stage of friendliness, but if I ever do end up in a card game, I'll keep that in mind. No. So
He's not the
I
bad
suppose
guy.
I suppose I did have something I wanted to ask about in terms of your travels. Have you ever made contact with the Ceruvian elves before? Or had much to do with them?
Desmond?
Roll me a d20.
17.
You've encountered them in the desert. Usually it's a kind of they glide along a sandstorm perpetually on sand gliding ships. You don't want to get caught by them. They're kind of like if you're not a blessing to the tribe, you're a blessing of bounty. They'll take what you have and leave you for dead. So you steer clear of them whenever you can.
Look, I've seen them, but they're not friendly.
Right. I was slightly concerned of that. But from what I know, they should be a bit more receptive if I'm there. For reference, that is where the next shard is.
So we need to get captured by slavers or bounty hunters or...
They don't take slaves. They'll just leave you for dead.
Yeah, they just roll you for your shoes.
Oh yeah, I've been to a suburban train station before.
I was going to say
Yeah, no, they basically live on a
it is
perpetual
asking for a
sandstorm,
ciggy, mate.
and
Yeah.
if you wander into
Oi,
the
mate.
sandstorm's
Fucking
path,
ciggy.
they'll kind of ask you if you're, well, ask is a strong word. They'd assess quickly if you're a benefit to the tribe to join them, and if you're not a benefit to the tribe to join them, you are a gift from the storm sent for new resources.
Look, Donnie is a gift from the storms. That much we do know. Yo. But I mean, I suppose we're trying to make contact. If we can find a more direct way, then that would be perfect. But I suppose something around in the desert and coming across one of their groups would also suffice.
I could ask.
That would be helpful. Very helpful.
If you're looking to get on one of the ships, is that the goal? Where do you want to be?
The shifting oasis, the heart of the Ceruvian elves.
Imagine that would be trickier.
I imagine it will be tricky, but I hope that they have not drifted so far from the light.
Donnie, you'd know that the shifting oasis as a phenomenon is the center, the eye of the storm of that perpetual sandstorm that moves throughout the desert, seemingly at random. It's their home, they move with it, but I don't believe you would know of anyone or have ever known yourself or of anyone who's made it to the center of the sandstorm. So
No.
it's dangerous.
I hope that they will see a star off and profit of the guiding light and be a bit more receptive to at least not attacking me on sight.
Can they be? Do they know they have it?
Yes.
Shard?
From the way
Could they
that
take-
somehow made it sound to me, yeah,
They're very aware.
And
they are aware.
Can they take the shards from you?
No.
Is that how that works?
Well,
So
they could kill me,
what's
I suppose, and then see what happens.
They would try.
Like I said, I have
But-
faith.
Well, it sounds like fun. I've always tried to avoid being captured by them.
Well,
It'd be nice to go there on friendly terms. Hell of a story.
it would be, and I get to at least congratulate myself on showing Donovan Bailey a part of the world that he's never seen before.
There's not many left.
Tell
I
me,
can
have you
ask-
ever
I
been
can-
to the world below before?
No, it is
Well, that's one more that I can show you.
not in my jurisdiction. If
Yeah,
you
that's good.
understand my
That's
meaning.
good. I get you. I get you. That's good. That. But
It would be fun. I'd be worried if something bad happens while we're down there and my boss can't contact me.
that would be concerning. But I suppose from what I've
Is that how
seen
that
of
works,
Saxes,
Well, but the world below, you said that the gods don't have much influence down there. Is that? Right?
No, that's more for the fact of the world below is worshipping any other deity other than the dying god is heresy punishable by death.
Oh, good. I don't
Or
know that, though,
exiled.
so it's fine.
yeah.
Or-
So the world, just to quickly answer X-Cat there.
World below is
because
underneath
world-
the surface.
Yeah, it's
our
basically
Underdark.
it's our Underdark. It's our Underdark, basically. It's our equivalent. There are some differences which we can go into
Fair
a bit more
few,
depth
but
in this
too much
Discord and all that. Which I'll be more than happy and Des would more than happy to explain. But basically, it's our version of the Underdark. But I mean, from what I've seen of Saxes, he has no issue getting anywhere that he wants to get at the very least.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
Yeah, we
look, I
don't-
think at this stage, I'll be giving you an invitation to my wedding. No, mine's Zamani's wedding.
Well, that's all right. Are you taking applications for best man? Because I'm
afraid
sure
that
that
would probably.
Xerxes would love the opportunity. Be a hell of a
Oh,
box.
right. I'm sure that would be quite the surprising look. Xerxes rocking up in a nice suit on the day.
I can only imagine.
I'll have to see what he says. I'm sure Zamani would be the one to offer him the true invitation, no?
Uranon, that's fantastic. You should be very proud of yourself.
That's actually good. That's actually
It's really good. Do you plan on getting married before you die?
I do.
Don't take this the wrong way, but why?
I suppose there's a few things there. First of all,
Yeah.
I suppose it acts as somewhat a degree of happiness, of closure. Having that moment, getting to live that moment for both Zamani and myself. But also for my family. Wider than that. That I don't go before that.
Are you worried of the ramifications of being a newlywed and then immediately dying?
I mean, Zamani knows. My mother knows and is prepared. In fact, she is the one who more so demanded that it happen beforehand.
Oh. What? Your mother demanded you.
Yes,
Your
she
mother
wanted
demanded that
something.
you sacrifice yourself.
No, that the wedding still happened.
Oh,
That she had something to celebrate in a
sense.
final.
Also, an
moments like
argument
that
we
in my
made for
life.
legitimizing Zamani and your adopted kids in the presence of Starless Eyes.
Yeah.
You know, make sure they're looked after.
Yeah. But doing so will also give Zamani a permanent place in the world below and everything else with it as well.
is that what she wants?
That is a conversation that I had earlier this morning that I will insert a response for because I cannot answer for her. But regardless if it's something that she wants in that stage, at the very least, it's a source of help that even if she lives far away from the world below, she will always have it there as something to fall back upon if it ever is required. She knows that she need not live down there. She need not be a part of that if that is what she wants. But if she ever finds herself in a difficult situation that she ever needs help, that she has family there and can call upon them.
I understand that I'm not trying to I'm not trying to ask difficult questions, but merely take stock of your understanding of your predicament.
Of course. Of course.
Mercastiel sees a lot. But there is
Mercastiel sees a lot and yet sees very little.
Yes, I've noticed.
She definitely sees it all, but just she doesn't pay attention to any of it.
Hmm.
And Zamani is obviously your beloved and your betrothed, so there's a certain amount of defensiveness is the wrong word, but protection, perhaps, in your conversations. As we travel, Kalasindir, I hope that in me you find someone you could be very frank with. Not necessarily disarmed, but I've been very close to death in my life, and if you would like to perhaps understand what it is you're walking into, then
Have you ever died before?
pretty close. I've been reborn.
I've died 3 times already. I had my body disintegrated, sent into
To come back
hell.
all right.
Thankfully. But I'm very well versed with death at this stage.
Yes, but there's something
A bit too
very
familiar.
different between death and pure annihilation, right?
Oh, absolutely. But I suppose I'm prepared for it this time around. I haven't encountered some random bastard in the sewers of Sathasa that looks at me and then turns me into ash without giving me a moment to respond or to say anything or to put anything right.
There's a really important spell that I found. It's called Counterspell. You should give it a try.
Unfortunately, Counterspell is rather limited in some of its applications.
I'm
Someone's-
teasing, of course.
Oh, no, absolutely. But
I've seen you cast Counterspell.
a bit limited in my amount of times that I can use it, unfortunately. Warlocks don't get shit for spell slots.
Sorcerer and Master Race. But I'm genuine. And it is not just because I need to make sure you're not going to destroy the entire planet when you bring the Scott back. But I understand what it is to face your struggles alone and be lost in ambition. If you would like someone that is not so guarded in your conversations, let me be clear. I don't care if you live or die. But
Comforting.
what? But while we're traveling together, I would like to perhaps extend a bit of empathy that comes without judgment.
Right. Thank you for that offer,
Good.
Donovan.
I hope you take me up on it. I'm not going to stop
Okay.
spying on you, though.
Oh, of course not. That much I would never expect you. And if you did, then I would see you as failing. Either Xerxes has given you a different task, or else you failed what he's given you, which would be a
Right.
whole new matter of concern.
I'm very good at my job, but it's a difficult burden you put on yourself.
It's interesting. Recently, I was presented with, I suppose, some manner of opportunity upon me recently returned to the world below, the first time in years that I had been there. And the reception on the streets to my coming was jubilant, to put it mildly, to the point of where my sister, the heir to my mother, she was concerned about me using my position, using everything that I have done, everything that I've claimed to try and seize the throne, to displace her upon our mother's death. And what is most interesting about that is that if we had gone back maybe 6 years, 7 years, there's a good chance I would have done it.
Time has a way of giving you a perspective.
Well, it does. And a chance to evaluate what you do consider to be important.
Yeah. How old are you? All you elves look about 23 to me.
I am
The white hair
226.
really doesn't help.
I am 226.
And what is that in dog years?
Those are those small animals I've seen on the streets a few times here on the surface. Yes,
Yes,
quite cute.
don't eat
I like them. I
They're
like
not
them.
very
No,
good
I
to
haven't.
eat.
Why would you eat them? They're far too enjoyable. I like them. I've seen people keep them as pets. I wouldn't mind that. I mean, they could use a few more limbs, or
You're
extra
no Chitari,
eyes and
but-
stuff. I don't know how they'd. They're no Chitari. They could use a bit more, but they're all right.
Pretty old. Because someone's so young.
For an elf, that is still young. As
And what
I
is
was
that?
often told.
Youngest child.
Youngest child of a very important family.
Your parents seem at peace with you. You said they know?
They know. My father did not. He did not seem to accept it quite as readily.
In what way?
He seems to think, I suppose, perhaps in his own way of making peace with it, that it will not happen. That something will occur, that this is me reading into it wrong, that I have not put together the pieces, that something else will happen, that I will not perish.
Tell me about
He
your-
refused to
your
believe
father.
me. I think you and him would get along well. My father is
Man of action.
a man of action, a man of courage, of honor, a great fighter, warrior. He has seen many wars in the world below,
I
but
think
he is also an incredibly kind and caring man. My mother was always busy at court and running the kingdom, but my father is who was there. I owe him a lot. And whilst we are very different Very different people. He has perhaps been one of the biggest people to change my life.
That is what a good father does.
You had a question for me before I cut you off.
Oh no, that's all right. There's always time for more questions. But
Of course.
oh, here's our drinks. Why is my rum in a teapot?
I think that's just tea. Oh, fuck. They may have just seen me and ordered tea instead.
You can
Or is it
drink
just very
that.
fine rum? Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
a very
They really
fancy
brought it for-
rum.
Yeah, yeah.
That's not bad.
That's surprisingly good. I mean, I'm not saying anything about the rum that you've drunk before in the past, but it's been
The rum I drink
relatively-
is garbage. The rum I drink is
much
cheap and
I was
cheap
going
and
to put
nasty.
it a bit more politer than that, but yes, it is cheap and nasty.
I don't drink it for the flavor. But this one, not bad.
Not bad. Sipping rum.
Yeah.
I am curious why it has a polar bear on the side of it, but interesting.
That's how you know it's the good stuff.
Rum canonically is best made in the frigid north.
Yep. No. It's made here in the desert. It just has a polar bear on it. No one can explain why. It's a mystery.
So,
That's
okay, I'm just here to like keep the stream running. You guys just do your thing. Just let me know when you're done.
I'm curious.
get
Do you
it.
have any? Oh,
You go.
sorry.
No, it's all right. I was just
I was
shooting
going
the
to say, I'm
shit.
curious if you have any more questions
Oh,
about myself or anything in general.
seems the circumstances have dictated that we'll have plenty of time for that. I don't think you're going to kill us all.
I hope
Just
not.
yet.
That is, that isn't my plan at the very least.
I'm going
And
to
if it-
enjoy telling that joke over and over.
Well, if I am set on a path for destruction of you all, then I hope at the very least you can stop me.
Well, of course I can. You're very tiny.
Of course, you are Donovan Bailey after all.
Well,
The one who will single-handedly take down Samael, stop him in his path.
yes, Xerxes did not have much faith in me for that one.
Misguided.
Yeah.
Or else another one of his jests.
No, he seemed quite set on his path that I would be destroyed.
There's only one
That's
way to
no
test it.
Well, perhaps one day we will get there, if Macassiel has her way.
Mhm.
What's your take on your friends? You've journeyed widely together. But
I mean, I don't think I need to...
obviously I know how you feel about Samani, but
I was going to say, I probably don't need to say too much there on that front.
pretty obvious.
Hmm.
Macastiel, she the first time I saw her, she was not quite as big, and the hammer is new.
It is. She had some manner of rediscovering her faith, I suppose. She walks a very interesting path,
In what way?
split between four, a set of the major ascended, all of them pulling at her attention for her devotion, her prayers. It's a
Seems
lot for one
remarkably
person.
efficient.
It does. And remarkably, as one would expect, it's very much that I don't think that they intended for her to be split between them in quite some manner. I'm sure all of them would be happy if she solely focused her attention on one of them, rather than all of them.
Your big fishes interest me, all of you. You're funny. You you all have this
Thank you.
common theme of you all have this common theme of being broken apart. Somebody emotionally, yourself mentally, and Mercastille spiritually. It's funny that you're stronger, perhaps have the opportunity to find some uniting force between yourselves.
It would be nice.
I mean, you're too
It would
far
be
gone,
nice.
and you're obviously going to.
The difference between me
destroy
and the others, I
universe, but-
suppose. Zamani, we get to hopefully watch as she starts to heal.
Yes, I
But-
think killing her former master might help.
Maybe.
This Cesara?
Who knows? I do not know what vengeance will bring. Whether to bring closure or healing or nothing.
Perhaps with the right nudge. Closure. Or perhaps redemption.
Perhaps.
Do you fear for her?
I do.
Just watch, you know.
It's true. But I think it would be remarkable of me if I did not worry. Even with that.
Be disappointed if you didn't. You say you're very far gone. You say you're, and I don't mean to keep harping on about this point, but you're remarkably grounded. You're remarkably tethered to life. You should hold
Thank
on
you.
to that. I've been broken before, and I think it'd be good for you to lean into these relationships and friendships and people that care about you and lives that you want to live. I think perhaps it would be a stabilizing effort for you.
I'll keep that in mind. I hope I don't sever what connections I do have.
Well, Zamani's going to be pissed off. Should be pissed off for a while.
Look, I think that is something I am naturally an adept at, is pissing her off, finding ways to.
It's because she cares, you know.
Of course. So I
Zamani's an
worry about her.
exceptional spy. She's incredible. She's probably a better spy than I am, but
Oh, she's terrifying.
yeah.
I've seen her, well, kill things without even knowing without them even knowing that she was there.
Might have a job for her.
Oh,
This life
have
is
need
not
of an assassin?
No, I'm quite good at it myself, but I think maybe a peaceful life after all that she's been on. Serok it's been difficult for her.
It has. It's funny, the more that you continue in life, the more the more just a peaceful life starts to appear.
Yeah, it's not for all of us, though.
No, I start to think about it, and then I realize that probably after a few years I'd go insane again from boredom and want to do something.
As Donovan and Calicindir spend the better part of the afternoon in this bathhouse, going back and forth with story, the evening comes too, and it becomes ever apparent that Anatari will be waiting for you soon, and you should probably make your way back.
Mhm.
Where we're going to end the session as Donnie and Cal grow a little closer, perhaps.
Oh yeah, I'll say they both have a
blossoming
decent
friendship.
I'm not
Yeah.
going to kill him yet.
Not yet, not yet.
Exactly,
We will
exactly.
be back tomorrow for a Kingslayers mainline game, and
Mhm.
back on Thursday and Sunday for other content. D&D Academy will be trying a new tool that we'll talk about soon. But other than that, thanks so much for hanging out with us today. It was a blast. We'll see you next time. That's Nate. That's
See you
Raph.
guys.
I'm Des. Bye-bye.
Bye.